It's called gentrification. It's what happens when the property value of a certain area is brought down. Huh? You listening?
Yeah.
They bring the property value down. They can buy the land at a lower price. Then they move all the people out, raise the property value, and sell it at a profit.
Essentially, gentrification entails of a mass change in the infrastructure of a neighborhood, such as adding businesses or franchises, and even a huge change in real estate.
From what I understand, the lower class is most at risk of being pushed away from where they live, and they're being, ejected.
And as these affluent families are moving into these developing neighborhoods, families who have been living here for years are being pushed away from their homes.
They're trying to assimilate everyone into more of a middle class, upper end kind of living space, and the lower class, making minimum wage, can't really keep up.
Do you think students at St. John's are far removed from understanding what gentrification is?
I feel like a lot of them are commuters from New York, so I get that they know what gentrification is, and I'm sure plenty of them experienced it. So
students should be aware of the issue. You can think of any major city, Los Angeles, Chicago, some areas of Chicago, any major city, no matter where you're from. You can be from the suburbs of Long Island, Queens. You have to have awareness of this issue.
I wouldn't say that we have to educate ourselves on the problem necessarily, because I think that if you ask, people know what the problem is. I think that if you ask around, people are well aware of what's going on. It's not really, when you have a conversation with somebody and you try to explain the connection between luxury development in Long Island City and the rents going up here, it's not really difficult to get to an agreement.
If you go to Flatbush Junction, excuse me, you would see maps like "We Are Here," something it has that tourist attraction appeal, like you're from Manhattan. I feel like some areas in Brooklyn, it's slowly but surely becoming like Soho or many other parts in Manhattan. And that's where you can see the changes.
So San Francisco is part of the Bay, and we have a couple of different cities all connected by bridges. And San Francisco is kind of the center of it. So what happens is that they're gentrified all of San Francisco basically to the point where there's no low-income people whatsoever, because all of San Francisco is expensive to live. What people are kind of forced to do is they move like a city over, so they go across the bridge to Oakland, they go across the bridge to Richmond, even across the Golden Gate Bridge to Marin is starting to be affected by the gentrification, because that's where it's also starting to become expensive to live. Yeah, but Oakland is right next to San Francisco. They're connected by a bridge, but the difference between Oakland and San Francisco is completely different. San Francisco is one of the nicest cities in the country, well known, and it's the most expensive. Oakland, on the other hand, is one of the poorest and one of the most high crime rates. And then all the people that are getting flooded out of San Francisco have nowhere else to go, and Oakland's a very cheap option. It kind of sucks that you go from that nice living to worse living conditions.
Woodside in particular, if you look around, you take a walk all the way down Roosevelt, and from border to border, you'll notice that actually there isn't a Starbucks, there isn't much high-scale business. It's mostly just a working class community, for the most part. The way it seems to be working is that Long Island City is one large center of development, and then Flushing is another. And then everywhere in between on the 7 line is basically, it's gonna close in on us. You see Long Island City and all the luxury development in Long Island City and that has had a sort of ripple effect. So you don't see a lot of like big buildings in Woodside and Sunnyside necessarily yet, but the effects of, as we know, when you build high, the property value goes up, so it makes the rents go up in the surrounding areas. So we're seeing the rents going up here.
Like realtors and stuff that are just using it to push the lower income people out. People get taken advantage of.
It's really crazy because they use the homeless shelters as a way to seem like, they're like, oh, but we're making more homeless shelters. And we say like, oh, well, there's 60,000 homeless in the city. And then we'll respond and say, oh, well, we're building homeless shelters. Like, there's one on my corner. Okay, no doubt, you build homeless shelters, but you're still making more homeless people. You cut us, you gave us a Band-Aid, and then you're gonna keep cutting us and give us more Band-Aids and expect us to be like, thanks for the Band-Aid.
How can you, as a real estate developer, provide houses, right? And they're not affordable for those who have been living here for many years.
This one documentary, there's this quote that's amazing, and this guy says, I'm not going to quote it specifically because I don't know the exact words, but he says, like, look at all these, basically, look at all these tall buildings. You'll never live there. We'll never be able to live in those buildings. They're not for us. They're actually blocks of money. And that's how I see it, is they want to basically just put these buildings here that are literally just blocks of money. And then I have to move out for them to have to put their investment in my home.
I feel like there have been more problems than solutions in regards to gentrification.
It's not like a easy fix. You're not really going to stop the improvements being made by outside companies or anyone that just wants to take advantage of other people's bad living situations. But if you improve those living situations, then they can't be taken advantage of so easily. So they can just make it easier for them to be a part of the improved community instead of them being pushed out of the community entirely.
The biggest obstacle or challenge is breaking through this idea, this defeatism, this fatalism that says that it's going to happen anyway. And you know, an interesting thing is that a lot of the nonprofit organizations, even like the social justice nonprofit organizations, take this line that, you know, it's going to happen anyway. So like, you know, that's the mentality that people have, and I think we need to break that mentality and actually get people to understand like the basics. Like, guess what? It's really easy to win if everybody's just down, basically. Like if you say yes and say, I'm down to help oppose this, if everyone does that, then we win. It's like really not as difficult as I think people think it is. We've forgotten like all the work that was done to get us in the position where we have even rent regulated apartments. The possibilities are endless if everyone's united. So at some point we could talk about reversing it, but first we got to stop it. What's going to help defend the neighborhood is the neighborhood.